Hey folks, how are y'all doing? It's good to have you back. Valentine's Day is in a couple days, and Kelly and I are going to be busy on Valentine's Day. So I'm going to do her Valentine's Day dinner early and surprise her with it. So stick around, we'll show you a good cowgirl Valentine dinner. Now, Kelly, as you could probably imagine, is not a flour and candy kind of girl, but I do like to make her nice dinners. So we're going to make her some New York strip steak, and then we're going to do some roasted shrimp cocktail and some asparagus and some little mini parsley potatoes. It's going to be a fantastic dinner. She's going to love it. It's one of her favorite things. So it's a little early in the day, but I want to start on some of the stuff that we can knock out early, like the sauces. We're going to make our own homemade horseradish sauce that's out of this world. And we're also going to make homemade cocktail sauce for the roasted shrimp cocktail that we're going to have. So let's kick it off with the horseradish sauce. So to start our horseradish sauce off, we need a cup of sour cream, and I make it easy. I buy the 8-ounce tub, so that's a cup. We'll just dump this whole tub into the bowl. Next ingredients after the sour cream is we need a 1/4 cup of horseradish. We found this in the refrigerated section of the grocery store. It's pure minced or grated horseradish, however they do it. There's no extra ingredients in this. All it is horseradish. So that's the kind you want to get. Otherwise, you can use fresh grated horseradish if you have that on hand, but kind of hard to come by, so we'll get a 1/4 cup of this. Now to that, we're going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of lime juice. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire. We can guess on that. And then we also need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Get our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And now we can just stir it up. There it is, all mixed up. Fantastic. We had this at a high-end restaurant that we went to at one point, and Kelly sweet-talked them out of the recipe, and we've been enjoying it ever since. And now you can too. That does it for the horseradish sauce. That would be really good on a roast beef sandwich too. I may pick me up some roast beef tomorrow and have a sandwich for lunch tomorrow with some of that on there. That would be really good. So let's go with the cocktail sauce now. We'll get that going. Our first ingredient to our cocktail sauce is this Heinz chili sauce. And I know they make cocktail sauce, comes in the exact same bottle, so don't mix them up. And I know what you're going to say, why don't you just buy the cocktail sauce? But it's so much better made this way, scratch made. So let's get a 1/2 cup of this in our bowl. Now to our chili sauce, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of Heinz ketchup, which is the best brand, right? I knew some restaurants out in California that would have Heinz ketchup bottles on the table, and they would refill them with generic ketchup, so they didn't have to buy the Heinz. So we'll dump that in. Now there's more horseradish in the cocktail sauce, 3 tablespoons worth. We'll get that in. The last 3 ingredients are 2 teaspoons of lime juice. We got a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire and a 1/4 teaspoon of hot sauce. We have it all in this little cup here. So we'll put that in and we'll mix that up, and then our cocktail sauce is done. Best you'll ever use. Okay, we got both of our sauces done. We got them in our little glass Pampered Chef containers with lids. We'll put those in the fridge and the flavors will come together. They'll be all ready for dinner. The next thing we can do a little bit early with about 2 hours to go till dinner is we're going to get our steak seasoned so we can allow that seasoning to go into the steak a little bit. We have 2 New York steaks here. We do a princess trim on those for Kelly, taking most of the fat off. And because the way the steak is shaped, it comes out into like a 1/2 heart. So we put that together for Valentine's Day as a heart-shaped steak. You can also do this with ribeyes if your spouse is okay with a lot of fat, because there's a lot more fat in ribeye. These are beautiful New Yorks. These are going to be just beautifully tender. So I'm going to get a little piece of string to put around this to kind of hold it together, and then we'll get her seasoned up. We keep our butcher's twine in one of these little plastic containers with a hole in the top, and then you can just pull out the string you need and cut it off. Okay, we got just a little touch of olive oil and some of our favorite barbecue seasoning on here. We did both sides. So we're going to let the flavors get into that steak, put it in the fridge. We'll take it out probably about an hour before we cook it to let it warm up just a little bit. And we'll come back later and get the rest of this dinner going. All right, folks, it's time to get the dinner going again. We've got the steak out of the fridge coming to room temperature. We're going to get our potatoes washed and cut up. We're going to get our asparagus washed and prepped, and we'll start to get things going. Okay, we got our baby red potatoes washed and cut in half in water in the pot ready to go. We got our asparagus washed in the pan ready to go. We have our mushrooms in the pan with some butter ready to go. Right now we're going to get the shrimp ready to go, and then we can probably start turning things on here. Got our shrimp prepared. We bought the raw peeled and deveined shrimp, the 4150. 4150, it means it takes 41 to 50 shrimp to make a pound. That's about the biggest ones I can get in this form. I can get them larger if they're already cooked, but I don't like buying them already cooked, because if you do, you have to serve them cold, because otherwise you'll overcook them. I like them raw, but I don't like having to peel them all, and it gets a little crazy and hectic when you got to do that. So these are ready to go in the oven. We're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. We have the fire on our potatoes to get those boiling. Those won't take long once they start boiling. We've got our mushrooms on, getting those ready to cook down. We probably won't turn the asparagus on until the steak goes in the air fryer. Our mushrooms are starting to cook down. Anytime you're cooking mushrooms, don't put a lid on them, because you want the moisture to escape, because they give off a lot of moisture. So there was butter already in the pan. We put a little salt, just a dash in there. And then as soon as this gets cooked just a little bit more, we're going to probably throw in about 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and then those will be done. Our potatoes are on simmer. Put the garlic in the mushrooms. The liquid's just about out of that. Once that liquid is gone, we'll turn those off. And then we're going to start our asparagus. We're going to start our steak. And the oven's up to temp. We're also going to put our shrimp in. Asparagus is going. We added a few dried cranberries just to provide a little sweetness. I do the same thing with Brussels sprouts. You want to keep these turned. We don't want to overcook the ones on the bottom. And I like my asparagus just a little crunchy, not soggy, limp. So we'll keep an eye on that pretty close. Alright, we've turned the asparagus off, because whatever heat's left in the pan will be plenty, and we'll continue to flip this around as this pan cools. The steak has about another 4 minutes. And then by then our potatoes and our shrimp should be pretty close to being done. Okay, the steak is done. I did 10 minutes in the air fryer on 400. The mushrooms are done. Asparagus is done. Potatoes are just about ready to be drained. The shrimp has just a little bit to go, not too much. So we're coming together. Our mini reds are drained. We got a half a stick of butter in there. We're going to put some salt in here, a couple good pinches of salt, some black pepper. All this is to taste, folks. And then a couple good tablespoons of parsley. We're using the dry parsley. And then we'll stir that up once the butter melts, and those will be our parsley potatoes. Shrimp are done. You don't want to cook them too long. They've turned good and pink, and they're firm to the touch. They are done. but they're not dry. So once the steak has rested just a little bit more, we'll plate this up and Kelly should be home. Well, the dogs are all going crazy. That must mean Kelly's home now, so I get a little excited myself. Kelly's home. What do you think of your Valentine's Day dinner, babe?
Nice. I like the heart-shaped meat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Give you a piece of my heart. You're going to break my heart when you take it apart, though. Let's dig in. Cheers to you.
Love you.
Love you, too. There's what it looks like on the plate. Doesn't that look really amazing? What do you think, my sweet? Is that better than flowers and candy?
Absolutely.
How's that bovine wine? It's a good vintage, 24. All right, folks. That was a fantastic Valentine's dinner. Will you be my Valentine for another year?
No, I guess. You promise that again next year?
Every time you want it. So, hope you enjoyed the video, folks. We love you guys. We hope you come back and see us here on Markelly Farm. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching.